Why I quit my 9 to 5 job. It's complicated. I'm in the process of quitting multiple physical labor jobs because I'm getting too old for it and it's becoming more like torture, and it's a toss up in the struggle to survive. On one hand, I've only known how to work physically involved jobs, and on the other hand, I'm literally getting old and burnt out. It all started growing up on a small farm growing potatoes in Idaho, quite literally growing potatoes to save money. And looking back on it, it feels like a joke because it's so cliche. Potato farm in Idaho, and I go to the grocery store shopping, and potatoes are so cheap. It's like $5 for a bag, whereas we're farming them and digging trenches and tilling the dirt, cutting up the potatoes, putting them in there, and then tending the plants all summer, and then digging them up again to get the potatoes out. Of course, they're the best tasting potatoes in the world, but it's a lot of work for a $5 bag of potatoes. And that's kind of what it feels like working jobs in general, is thinking about like sales ideology. They have a lot of sayings like, if you're working a job, you're just over broke. And there's the KISS method: keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, silly. And that doesn't seem to be fitting in the case as far as working physically challenging jobs in order to just continuously be just over broke. Another term for the hourly job is wage slavery, which kind of looks at like the infrastructure of like the pyramid scheme, basically. Like the owner of the company is at the top of the pyramid, and the trickle down effect is not effective. The people at the bottom do not have the equal opportunity to live life like the person at the top of the pyramid. So every product out there is basically part of a pyramid scheme. And as I was an essential employee during COVID, I really struggled with going into work for the 9 to 5 job because I was taking care of customers that were upset about staying at home and not being able to work, where our store would get mobbed by crowds of people because it was a small town, and everybody got sick of staying at home in the city and decided to go out camping, and our town just got packed with everybody that got sick of their neighbors or their households and needed to spread out. And every weekend was like 4th of July. But yes, the hourly wage is incomparable to the power of global customer base, such as the digital marketing that I'm looking at now. I'm really excited to be part of the Legacy Builders program because it's a product that is legitimate in building skill sets and providing a positive community support, and not being deceptive in its quality and value. And it's exactly what I've been looking for, an opportunity to make unbelievable changes in my life and learn how to work from anywhere instead of having to be held accountable to be at my job position on the dot someone looking over and make sure I'm not clocking in a minute late, or making sure that I can get along with everybody that's in the environment, kind of like being stuck in a box. So the digital marketing is freedom from being confined to a cash register or a grill or a tool belt. But there are some jobs that I may continue just for the entertainment value. I'm getting out of construction. I think I'm finished with that. It's hard to believe because that was the best money I've made, but there's better money out there, and that's what I'm looking for, coming off the farm and getting into the city and finding better living. Driving Uber is quite shocking, actually, to meet people all over the city. Sometimes I have passengers who are like trust fund babies and have no concept of struggling, and I guess financially struggling. They struggle in other ways because nobody's perfect. But I want to change my life so that I can work on other struggles instead of just financially surviving. And I might continue driving Uber because it's almost like a game. Like, I got points building up so I can have diamond status after taking half a year off while working construction. I have like nearly perfect scores, like 0 cancellation rate, and I've been bouncing between 99% and 100% acceptance rate. I had 100% for a moment there, but then I declined a trip to drive from Austin to Houston because I had other plans and I couldn't spend 3 hours. And I've done that before, where I've driven to Houston and then they just have me work in Houston. They don't have another trip for me to work my way back to Austin. So that's like 3 hours not working and just driving. And overall, the Uber is good for fast cash and survival, but it's between a rock and a hard place because there's an incredible amount of hazards on the road. I went out to work the other night, and after on my third customer, I popped a tire and couldn't work the rest of the night. The shift was over, and it was a Saturday night, so of course dealership isn't open till Monday, so that cut out working on Sunday and no early start on Monday. And then I got a nice car, very hospitable, complimentary car. Makes everybody's day when they get in it. It makes my day to work in it, but it is extraordinarily expensive from my potato farm perspective, and it's not cost effective for driving Uber. It's actually I'm actually, all this fast cash is coming out of the equity, and I'm struggling to work enough to pay for the car itself. I'm barely making up for the car payments while I have maintenance building up at the same time. So Uber is a tough call on whether I'll keep up with it or not. I've almost got my 2,000 points to where I can get my free tuition at Arizona State University. But then again, the road hazards are a tough call. And I'm starting new work again, working events as a stagehand. Going to explore some theatrical and corporate events. I've done it as a concert stagehand, and that's quite an adventure. I had to quit for a while because after COVID, everything got tossed up, and the work environment got kind of hazardous due to being short-staffed, and every year they got to make the shows bigger, and having bigger shows to put together with less people was becoming kind of dangerous with assembling all the heavy stage parts and stuff. And everybody had kind of a difficult attitude dealing with like PPE post-COVID. And the attitudes can be interesting because it's kind of like roadie worker environment, but that's going to be different now because I'm getting into more theatrical and corporate work. So I'm going to explore it and see if it's entertaining while I'm building up my business online, so that I have the freedom to go anywhere and work anywhere and complete my to-do list. I've started many projects and abandoned them due to life's circumstances and the need to survive rather than, I guess, complete things I started. I got a couple bachelor degrees I started and want to finish, and that is a whole nother world of opportunity after graduation. But yeah, my first degree, my associate's degree, is in hospitality, and it has been like an expensive self-help degree. So I'm still working on it and looking for how to use it, and it has mentally prepared me for working online. But I gotta take action and make these changes, because I can't keep doing the 9 to 5 and not making progress and staying at the bottom of the pyramid. So yeah, the Legacy Builders is exciting and inspiring, and I'm really grateful for all the mentors that show the way to have a quality of life I've never seen before. So here's to the future.